Hello and welcome to Prairie Hubtech. My name is Jessica Womack and I'm your host today, and we have an exciting episode for you. We'll be talking to a local CEO in Omaha at Gazella Wi-Fi. Also, we'll be talking about how you can keep yourself safe from email spams and junk mail. Prairie Hubtech is powered by Go Greenie. Mom said eat your greens. Okay, let's talk about cyber hygiene. Just how clean is your inbox? 48% of malicious email attachments are Microsoft Office files, and this is coming from Signatech. So when you're looking at your email and you see different emails, maybe they're specials, or look, you just won a vacation to Jamaica, how do you vet those emails and how do you know which ones are true and which ones are spam? So today on Cyber Hygiene, we're going to talk about how you can make sure that your inbox is cyber safe. So tip 1, don't open up email attachments from unknown email addresses. One of the easiest ways for ransomware or for hackers to get your information is because you downloaded a file. And that file might seem like nothing happened, but in the background, it's actually working. So number 1, you can change the settings in your email, in your inbox, so that it can block images as well as attachments from automatically downloading. Tip 2, double check and ensure that the email address truly belongs to the person that it says. Usually what hackers will do, or people that are looking to get into your accounts, they'll make it look almost the same. There'll be one letter that's different, or there'll be a number, or it might say an @.com or an @.net. So it's just really important that you look at the email and verify that it actually is the person that you're hoping to receive an email from. And tip 3, use a sandbox or a separate network. This might seem very high tech, but actually it's not. So what you can do is make sure that when you're opening up emails, especially when you're in a work environment, that you're using a network that's separate from which you share your information on or you do your bank transactions on. You want to make sure that it's separate. That way, even if they do download something, it doesn't cross networks. Also, a sandbox is a really fun area where you can put in a USB drive, you can also download email attachments, and it doesn't leave that designated area. All right, so those are our cyber hygiene tips for today. And if you think that you have cyber hygiene tips that you would also like to share with us, please go ahead and add us on social media at Prairie Hubtech as well as at Go Greenie. And on Mondays, we have Cyber Monday. So please go ahead and share your questions, your tips, or even your screenshots of, hey, what is this? And boggle our minds just a little bit. Okay, Beat on the Street. Beat on the Street is where you, the public, can interact with us. We want to know, what are you doing? What are you thinking? What kind of questions do you have for us? And also, it's our time to show appreciation to you all. So our first episode launched last week, and already we have 57 followers on our Facebook page. So we want to say thank you to the Prairie Hubtech Nation for joining us, for sharing us, and for looking at our videos. Okay, up next we have tech support. We're going to talk to a local CEO in the Omaha area. We're going to talk about his journey as a tech entrepreneur and what it takes for you at home to start a business in the Silicon Prairie.
KPAO Community Television, handmade in Omaha since 2013.
Welcome back to Prairie Hubtech, and it's time for tech support. We're here with a local CEO. His name is Eric Burns, and he's going to tell us all about his journey and why he chose the Silicon Prairie as a location for his business. Hi, Eric. Welcome.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So go ahead, tell me about your business. We've been waiting.
So I run a company called Gazella Wi-Fi. We turn guest Wi-Fi into an automated marketing tool.
Really?
And so kind of the easiest way to explain it is you've probably been to a hotel or airport or somewhere that's going to charge you $12 an hour to use the Wi-Fi.
Oh, I love that when that happens.
And so we use a similar technology, but instead of asking for that $12 an hour, we say, hey, like this restaurant on Facebook, or maybe provide an email address to access the Wi-Fi. And so it's kind of that win-win for the business, and then as well as the end user that wants to use that Wi-Fi, and enables the business owners to be able to communicate with their customers in ways that they kind of really haven't been able to do before.
That's amazing. Okay, so I mean, all of us, we've traveled at an airport before or a train station or somewhere. So just the whole pain of trying to get Wi-Fi and getting your signal. So that's a really innovative way that you've solved a problem, because when you're at an airport and your layovers may be 1 hour long, I mean, you don't want to pay $12.99 just to be on Wi-Fi. So that's really innovative way that you came up with that. But what was the spark point that made you think, hey, I have a business idea to solve this problem?
Yeah, so it was probably in, I guess, maybe 5 years ago now. It's been a while. But I had owned a restaurant. And
cool.
There was our marketing at that time was we had a fishbowl out on the countertop, and we were asking people to drop their business cards in it. And I remember thinking, I was just very frustrated because I thought I was a kind of a technical person, and yet our marketing was a fishbowl that was put out on the bar top. And so, but we realized that the customers that were willing to give us their contact information, they were coming back more often, they were spending more money.
Really?
Primarily because we just had a way to be able to connect with them. And we could email them, tell them about our specials, our happy hours, and all those things that were going on. And so kind of along that same time, I was actually working 2 jobs. So I was working at Gallup, a local company.
Okay, sure, yeah, absolutely.
And kind of in the evenings, I was working at the restaurant. And so I was trying to automate a lot of those processes and looking at ways. And so there was one night a guy had came in and he asked, what's that Wi-Fi password? Yeah. And so, I was kind of tired from working the 2 jobs as ornery, and so I was like, well, what's in it for us? And,
that's so
and
funny.
So he's like, well, I'll buy a sandwich from you.
Really?
And so that was kind of when we realized we didn't have to be like the airports or hotels that charge $12.99, but we also didn't have to give away the Wi-Fi for free. And so that was when we said, hey, let's exchange, give them their email address, or like us on Facebook, and just kind of make that win-win for both parties.
Wow, way to turn a frustration into a gain. Okay, that's very innovative. So now that you have this $1 million idea, I mean, this is just amazing. Why stay in Omaha? Why call Silicon Prairie the hub or the home of your business?
Yeah, so Omaha was home for us, or for me. I was born and raised here,
nice.
But I've done a lot of traveling outside, and we have recruited a lot of employees from out of state to come to Omaha. And one of the things that I find most attractive, I guess, about Omaha is our cost of living is
very nice.
Very easy. I was in Boston last week, and a very comparable apartment would have ran almost double, if not triple, from what we'd rent here. And then that keeps some of the business costs down, and it enables us to spend the money on growing the business rather than on infrastructure.
That's really good. Okay, so that's a very fair point, because there are a lot of people out there that want to start a business and they think, okay, I have to go to San Francisco, or I have to go to Stockholm, I have to go to one of these huge hubs that we all know about. But I mean, when you think about the cost of living, you have to think about the rent, the lease agreement for your business, the taxes. When you think about this, Silicon Prairie is a perfect place just to not only start, but also to grow and expand as you're doing. I mean, you've been here for 4+ years. So that's amazing.
Absolutely, especially with Skype and all those other technologies that make it super easy to jump on. You can talk to someone halfway around the world with a click of a button.
Absolutely, yes, you can. So yeah, Skype, Slack, everything. It's like there's no point in like not saying, oh, we can't do remote, or we can't find somebody who's not located here. Okay, so what were some of the drawbacks? I know you talked about your frustration that propelled you to solving this business problem, but what are some of the drawbacks or some of the challenges that you had to go through in order to actually start your business and get on the ground?
Oh, good question. Yeah, so one that I don't share very often, but
we're VIP.
I was trying to think. It's a little embarrassing, but I actually, when we first got started, we needed to kind of build out the platform, and I know some programming, but not enough to build out a complete front end, back end with firmware, with the hardware components.
Sure.
And so we needed some source code, and so we had hired a freelancer and ended up having to actually pawn my car for that source code.
Wow,
and
that's dedication.
so I pawned the car, and then it was a very calculated risk because I knew we had clients coming in that would be able to, and so was able to go back to the pawn shop and get that car back very shortly.
Wow, that's really dedication. So, I mean, you had to have known that, yes, once again, you said it's a calculated risk, but you also had to know, like, this is a real problem and I really do have a solution. So I think in that, there are some entrepreneurs out there, whether they're in tech or another area of STEM, but they're kind of daunted. They feel like, oh, where's the money? Where's the finance? Where's my angel investor? In a way that you said, hey, I'm going to take something that's important to me and I'm going to invest it in this dream. So I think that's very commendable.
We also did some of the angel and, down the road, but that definitely helped us. I don't think it would have happened if I hadn't kind of put my own work into it prior to.
Okay, I understand. So what was the aha moment, the moment where you felt like, or are you still waiting for that aha moment even, that you felt like, okay, we got it, the market gets the concept, I feel good, the company feels good. Have you ever had that feeling, or describe it?
It comes and goes.
Okay,
and so I think, where we're at in the business today, I was dreaming of, the days that we would have the additional infrastructure and those sorts of things that we do today. But I think, with any business, you have, whether you're Gazelle Wi-Fi or Union Pacific or ConAgra, whoever, you're always going to have cash flow issues, or they're going to have those kind of the highs and lows of entrepreneurship. So.
That's fair enough. So with a startup, you need a team. So there's people who actually they're getting out of college or they're looking for internships and they say, I don't want to go to these huge, big, mega companies. I want to go to a startup. I've heard about these startups. They have ping pong tables, this open lifestyle. What does it take to have that mindset to actually work as an employee within a startup?
Yeah. So we don't have any ping pong tables.
Oh, man, hurt me.
But so we have we have an employee, Matt Ronay, who's been with us ever since the beginning. So he was actually a junior in college when he started working for us as an intern. And, one of the things that he was faced with when he originally had applied is he had some opportunities for some other jobs in Omaha as well. And so kind of think the tipping point to get him to come work at Gazelle is we kind of showed him the additional responsibilities that he would have had.
Oh, that's nice.
Today he runs a team. He has landed deals all across the world. And so those are some opportunities that you probably wouldn't have gotten with a large organization. We send them to conferences to represent us and those types of things.
That's really interesting.
A lot of times you don't get those opportunities as a entry-level employee at some other organizations. So.
Wow, okay, that's really good. I love how you're looking at the team. Also, he's grown with you and you're giving him opportunities to grow, to expand, and to build up himself. So those are some pretty amazing aspects of working on a startup. So before we go, I just want to ask you, what's the one piece of advice you would give an entrepreneur or someone who's wanting to think about starting a tech startup? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I would say find other entrepreneurs and spend time with them. I think there's always the kind of the roller coaster, those highs and lows of entrepreneurship, and you need those other people that have kind of gone through those scenarios to pick their brain and understand. Everyone wants to help out, and so I think finding the right people to surround yourself with goes a long way.
That's smart. You need a team. We're not an island. Even if you're an entrepreneur and you think this is all mine, I can do it, you actually do need support, someone to talk to. So that's really wonderful advice. Well, Eric, thank you so much for being on our show today. Greatly enjoyed having you here.
Thanks for having me.
And yeah, we hope to keep hearing more about you. When I go to the airport next, I'm going to look and see, like, oh, I'll give them my email support. All right, well, you guys at home, don't go anywhere, because up next we have Code Camp, and we're going to learn about Python 3. Okay, welcome to Code Camp. Today I'm going to teach you about Python 3 and how you can use Python 3 to launch a career that can take you all the way to Sweden. All right, so we're going to learn with the web. And Python was created by Guido van Rossum and was released in 1991. It's used in software development as well as web development on the server side. It can connect to databases like MySQL. It can handle big data, and it's similar to English, which makes this language robust as well as powerful. So what companies use Python? Instagram uses Python, Spotify, as well as Facebook. So this language has been around since the early 90s. However, it has transformed as it's progressed with other technologies. So it's really wonderful for big companies to embrace this. The benefits of using Python is that it's similar to English, as I mentioned earlier. It's very beginner friendly and it has a wide base of users. Because it is English friendly, it means that it sounds almost as if you're natively speaking. And it also has strong documentation. So there's multiple sites, blogs, YouTubes. You can go to Khan Academy, you can go to Udemy, and you can learn about Python. Also, it's free, it's open source, and it's community supported, which means that you don't have to pay hundreds of dollars just to use it. Some of the drawbacks to using Python: it can be sensitive, and this is dual fold. Some people think that Python makes developers lazy because there's so many add-ons. Others think that it's quite sensitive because if you tab or if your cases are different or up or lower, it can throw out your code. Also, there's new versions. So right now we're on Python 3. So for those that learned previous versions of Python, this can also be a drawback as they will have to renew their skills. Today we're going to go over some different examples, such as how to just use a simple print within Python, as well as lists, tuples, and we'll even be able to create a dictionary. So let's get started. The platform that I'm using today is an online platform. It's called repl.it. You can go ahead and follow me. My name is Mrs. Lee. So what we're going to do right now is I'm just going to hashtag and I'm going to put in our comments. Whenever we want to comment out, you can just use the hash. And I think this is a really good coding practice, because if you don't comment your code, people won't understand what your intent of the code is. Usually when code gets put into production, you can assume that that code is going to be in production for years, and the developer that comes behind you, because maybe you're a junior developer and you're going to become a senior developer, they'll have no idea what you're talking about. So what we're going to do is we're just going to type in print, and we're going to say, hello, Prairie Hubtech. Now print is, think of it as a verb, it's an action. I want it to show what I put in these brackets. So it says, run, hello, Prairie Hubtech, woo, success. So awesome. What you've done is one of the most basic things that Python 3 will require. So congratulations. Next, let's go ahead to example 2. In example 2, what we're going to do is create a list. Lists are very strong in that you can use it for a database. So for example, Instagram, all of those people on your feed, they're probably connected to some type of list within a database. So let's go ahead and let's write. I'm just going to come here to code line number 3, and we're going to write an episode list. That way I understand what it is. It's pretty intuitive. And I'm going to say it equals. So basically what I'm doing is I'm making a definition behind it. And I'm going to say episode 1, and I'm going to use the format of EP.01 or .02 or .03. That's going to be my function. And this just corresponds to the different episodes that we'll have for Prairie Hubtech. More than 3. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead to line 4, and we're going to use the famous print. And what do I want it to do? I want it to print episode list. And episode list corresponds to the values within the bracket. So let's go ahead and press run, and voila, success, there it is. Look at you. Look at you guys, we're junior developers already. Okay, so now let's try example 3. So for example 3, what we're going to do, we're going to change this list in Python 3. We're going to say tuple in Python 3. And you'll always see people say tuple and list. And in an interview, someone's going to ask you, what's the difference between a tuple and a list? And not only are you going to say you know what the difference is, you're going to be able to say that, hey, I've actually coded a tuple and a list. So wonderful. Now we're going to say the equal sign and then the values within. And you can always tell a tuple is different from a list because a tuple will have parentheses and a list will have brackets. So if you're ever in one of those weird interview tests where you have to go online and it will say A, B, C, or D, always know tuples, parentheses, lists, brackets. Okay, and so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to enter in our famous print because we want it to print the tuple, that's the action, that's the value that we want to run. And you can just use shortcuts. You can just press enter, and then let's go up and let's press run, and let's see if we made it. Okay, and one of the really powerful things about tuple is that we can actually print a specific position of the list. So let's just say that I don't want to get everything within a list. I just want to know, can I pull out the information for episode 2? So I can put in the value. One of the weird things about it is intuitively we count 1, 2, 3. However, in Python, you count 0, 1, 2. You always start at 0. Remember, 0, 0, 0, always start at 0. All right, so there's proof, it works. Awesome. So now you are seasoned junior developers. And let's go to episode. Example 4. And example 4, what we're going to do is we're going to create a dictionary. Now, a dictionary is really nice because you can put different values in it. And a dictionary, let's say I want to know what the season is. So I'm going to have a website. And on my website or my application, I want to be able to list who is showing on what day and what time. So in order to have that information, I need to know the season, I need to know the episode number, and I also need to know the year, as well as other data. Think of Netflix. Every time you search in something, they have to return some information. So you can use a dictionary in order to combine that information as well as basically display the information. So what we're going to do is just going to put this in quotes. We're going to put season, and then a colon, and then quotes 1, episode, colon, and then we're going to put our code. So one of the things that you just want to make sure you're doing with this, because it can be a little bit sensitive in Python 3, make sure you're understanding your tabs, your spaces, and anything that's within the quotes, it's going to directly print that. So if you want it to be capitalized, make sure it's capital within the quote. All right, so then we're going to do some curly braces and then print. And what we're going to print? We're going to print episode dictionary. So let's see if it works. There you go, it worked. And it all printed on one line. What you can do, you can get really fancy in Python 3. You can also make it print in different ways. You can put lines between it. It can get very, very fancy, but I'll let you do that for your code challenge. All right, so yay, you did it. And if you enjoyed today's tutorial about Python 3, please go ahead and join us on Prairie Code Challenge and show us your code using Python 3. We want to see how you use tuples and lists and dictionaries and what all kind of values that you can print. Now that you know a little bit about Python 3, we hope that you continue your journey as well as join us on our code challenge. Hashtag Prairie Code Challenge. So our number 1 challenge is going to be create a list using Python 3. Also create a tuple using Python 3 and create a dictionary using Python 3. Please show us your screenshots as well as @us Prairie Hubtech or GoGoGreenie. It's time for our community highlights. Yes, it's our community calendar time, and this week we have some really amazing events that are going on, and I also have a ticket alert. So on October 24th, there's an all-day event on Omaha Tech Security, and this is a really great conference because you'll be able to talk to vendors as well as hear what are some of the breakthroughs in tech, or what kind of viruses are out there, ransomware, everything you need to know about cyber readiness. On September 25th, we have Improving Enterprise Architecture Skills for Omaha area professionals. This is from 5:30 to 7:30. And on September 30th, we have Audacious Agile. And this Agile group is a wonderful and dynamic group. Every time they meet, there's something different, there's someone different. And I think that if you're able to go, definitely join them, you will learn something. On October 2nd, we have Learn Swift Omaha, and as their monthly meeting. On October 5th, we have Workday, the Side Projects Club. So go ahead and try to learn Python 3 and show us what you can do, and bring a friend along as well. And October 16th, we have Agile Coaching Circles, and that's a bi-weekly virtual meetup, and that's wonderful for those that have already gone into Agile and they have already gone into coaching. This is something to help you and propel you to go further in your careers. All right, that's our show for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you enjoyed this episode. And before you leave, please like, subscribe, share our page. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we're also on LinkedIn, and we want to hear from you. Have a great evening.